Hello, Seiiti. What do you think of the following idea? For whomever has will be given more, and they will have in abundance. And whomever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. Do you think that is fair? That this is harsh? Does it sound like the idea of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer? Well, today let's discover the Cantillon Effect that teaches us that people who already have a lot will get even more, and those who don't have much will end up with even less. This idea is not just about money or fruits of the spirit. This is an economic theory that you can see in schools, in science, sports, even on the internet. The term Cantillon Effect was created by a sociologist named Robert Merton. He was making a reference to the Bible, specifically Matthew 25:29, which says that people who have something will get more, and they'll have plenty. But those who have nothing will lose even the little they have. Now, here's a warning. I know that this is misunderstood a lot. I'm pretty aware of that. And by the way, do you think that you know what is the exact meaning of this, how to interpret this passage? I'm sure that many people already want to start sending their comments here before even listening to the entire explanation. So please, make sure to stay until the end so we can discuss everything in detail. The Cantillon Effect is everywhere. That is why you need to understand it. Since 1977, it has been shown how Nobel Prize winners get an advantage after being awarded. And these winners get a lot of recognition, opportunities. This generates a positive spiral for them. Imagine if you're a young researcher without awards. You have a very difficult time to get funding for your projects. In schools, kids who start off doing well in reading or math, they tend to do even better as they go along. Yeah, the children who start reading early often receive more educational opportunities. And then this will give them even better academic skills. Makes sense, right? And the kids who have initial difficulties, they will struggle catching up. And the same thing happens also with money. People who start with a little bit of money are often able to make it grow. Partially, this is because of entrepreneurship. However, there is also the Cantillon Effect that we already talked about in the episode number 32 of the Arata series. It shows that when new money enters the economy, the first people to get that money, the banks, the companies with good political connections, they win because they are spending that money before the prices go up. And then later on, as that money starts to circulate in the economy, the money spreads, the prices will rise, and people who get that money later, you and me, will end up worse because our money will buy less. It has been diluted. Basically, how new money is spread, distributed, spread around, it can make some people richer and other people poorer, showing that not everybody will benefit the same way in the economy. If you are a cantillionaire, the person who gets the money earlier, you will get richer. But if you're starting for nothing, it's very hard to get ahead. And there are also studies with families that demonstrate that where you start can kind of predict where you're going to end up. And again, this is not surprising, right? Rich parents can influence the future of their children because they can use their connections to help their kids get good jobs or just put them into top schools, which will help them gain important skills. Parents will also be able to cultivate traits like intelligence and personality, teach them values. You can even see the Cantillon Effect in sports. Malcolm Gladwell has a book explaining how success often comes from early advantages, like the birth timing. It's not just skill. Athletes who are born early in the year, they get more practice, they get better chances. Imagine this when you're a little kid. Just being a few months older can give you a big advantage in sports. And this small age difference means that you will get picked for better teams, you're going to receive better coaching, basically going to have more chances to succeed. And over time, this early advantage will accumulate, it will grow, it will make harder for other kids to catch up. This happens in many sports around the world. You can also give it a try yourself on social media. Just try to identify some influencer who got millions of likes saying something, whatever it is. You can go there, you can copy and paste, you can say the exact same thing on your profile, but you're not going to get the same amount of likes because fewer people follow you to begin with. The consequences of the Matthew effect can be that you will do nothing, you're going to be just complaining, or you can use this, you can learn this, and then you can actually take action to improve your life. The choice is yours. So with all these examples now, we can understand that the Matthew effect tells us that people who start with more advantages often get even more ahead. Now please pay attention. Your focus determines your reality. If you focus on how the Matthew effect gives an unfair advantage to those who already have plenty, you'll have a tendency to not take action to improve your life. However, there is a powerful way to shift our perspective. To use the Matthew effect to your advantage, you need to remember the theory of the external locus of control. We already discussed that in episode 338 of the Hello Seiiti Arata series. So when you have an external locus of control, you believe that your successes or your failures are resulting from external factors beyond your control. And obviously this will make you powerless. Instead, you can adopt an internal locus of control. You can believe that you have the power over your outcomes. So if you have an external locus of control, you will be blaming bad luck, bad timing. You're going to be blaming other people for your problems. This would be giving up any responsibility for your life. And here's where the Matthew effect gets even trickier. If you already come from a situation with fewer advantages, whether it is money or background or opportunities, it's pretty easy to start to see this pattern everywhere. All the odds will seem stacked against you. That is understandable. It can lead to a belief, a sincere belief that the universe is kind of working against you. If there is only one idea that I would like you to remember from this entire conversation here, it is this. What is the practical meaning of this Matthew effect on your life? Does it mean that if you have fewer initial advantages, you're doomed? No. You also have to recognize that you have control over your life. You just need to know how you're going to use what you have. This is where growth mindset, this is where self-efficacy coming. The theory of growth mindset by Carol Dweck explains that believing that you can grow, believing you can change, that you can improve, it will give you power. Also, there's Albert Bandura who showed how believing in your ability to get things done propels you to act. That is self-efficacy. So let's apply all of this. Instead of thinking that you got so lucky because you have less than what other people have, which would imply that your life is fixed, immutable, you can use growth mindset that will ask, okay, how can I grow? How can I develop my own skills? Instead of feeling like you do not have agency, that you don't have power, that you have no command of your actions, your choices, you can use self-efficacy, which says, what can I do right now to move forward? Does that make sense? So please let me know in the comments here what you think so far about what we're talking about here. The Matthew effect is not just about money or connections. It is about what you build within yourself. Learning, growing, taking action. Those are the things that create your own path forward. Staying stuck, pointing fingers, that just makes the power that it has over you get even stronger. Every choice you make, every new skill that you learn, every bit of knowledge that you gain, all of these are the building blocks of your future. With focused effort, you nurture these building blocks to grow stronger. Those are the tools for success within the Matthew Effect. Again, the choice is yours. You can passively watch other people do well, or you can create your own momentum. The Matthew Effect is a social science theory that makes a reference to the parable of the talents. Now that we discussed the Matthew Effect as a theory from social sciences, let's take a look at the original source, because there are discussions on the interpretation. The parable of the talents is a story found in the Gospel of Matthew, particularly Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 through 30. And it goes like this. A man going on a journey called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one servant, he gave 5 talents, and a talent is a large amount of money. To another one, he gave 2 talents, and to the last servant, he gave only 1 talent, each according to their ability, and then he went away. The servant who received 5 talents went at once and put his money to work, gaining 5 more. In a similar way, the one who had 2 talents gained 2 more. However, the servant who received 1 talent went off, he dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master finally returned to settle accounts with them. The servant who had received 5 talents brought the additional 5 and said, "Master, you entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I have gained 5 more." The master was very pleased and said, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness." The servant with 2 talents also came along and said, "Master, you entrusted me with 2 talents. See, I have gained 2 more." And the master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things, and I'll put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness." And finally, the servant who had received 1 talent came and said, "Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid, and I went and I hid your talent in the ground, and here is what belongs to you." The master replied, "You wicked, lazy servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown, and I gather where I have not scattered. Then you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest." The master then ordered that talent be taken from the servant who had given 1 and give it to the one who had 10 talents. And then he explained that everyone who has, more will be given, and they will have in abundance. But the one who does not have, even what they have will be taken away. And the useless servant was thrown outside in the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. The parable of the talents teaches about making good use of what we're given. I have seen people saying that it is necessary to interpret the parable of the talents only considering that it's talking about divine knowledge, the fruits of the Spirit. However, even if you do that, there is no denial. We can also learn many important lessons through this in all other fields of life. There are 2 parts of special importance. The master gave different amounts of talents to the servants, each according to their ability, their capacity to handle it. That's key idea number 1. And also, the servant who hid the talent, he was afraid. And the master calls him wicked and lazy. Fear and laziness is the key concept number 2. Let's take a look at each of them. Idea number 1, people are different, and this is okay. We should not try to force equality where there is natural difference. It is all about working with what you have. In the story, the master gives money to his servants based on their abilities. It is similar to when a teacher assigns a more challenging work to students who are more advanced, who can handle it. The main idea here is that everyone has their own skills and challenges. You should focus on your strengths, not worry about what others are doing. You should work on what you're good at, and then try to improve. It is not about competing with others, but about improving yourself. Life is like a story where everyone receives talents. Some people get a lot, some people get a little. So stop focusing on the narrative that is so unfair that some have a lot, some have little. This is not going to be helping you to improve your life. Actually, when you succumb to this social justice aspect of the differences, you risk becoming entitled. You risk start wanting something for nothing. And remember, the important thing is not the amount that you get. It is what you do with it. You might have a lot or a little, but you need to use what you have. Sometimes we might feel like we don't have enough. And this fear can make us hold on to what we have without using it. The story shows us that if you use what you have, you can gain more. But if you don't use it, you might lose even the little you have. This is like the master in the story taking back the talent because it was not used. So what is the takeaway here? Don't underestimate your talents, no matter how small they might seem. Be grateful. The story teaches us two important lessons related to the idea of being given talents according to our ability. Number one, it is clear that everyone has talent. The master made sure to give each servant an amount that he thought that they could manage. And this tells us we all have something to offer, whether big or small. And idea number two, fear and laziness, they are bad. Period. The servant who received one talent was afraid. He thought that the master was too strict, so that he hid his talent instead of using it. And when he was explaining this to the master called him lazy. This teaches us that fear can prevent us from using our talents, which is like not appreciating the gifts we've been given. Laziness is not just about inactivity. It is also about letting fear control you. I know you have a talent in everyday life. The parable of the talents is very relevant. I believe all of us have many talents, not just one. I know you have talents. There are things that you do very well, right? But are you using your skills to help other people? Or are you hiding your talents? Since starting Arata Academy in 2007, which is more than 17 years ago, I've been interacting with millions, literally millions of clients and followers. They all shared their stories with me, showing me that we can all do great things. But having talent is not enough. What really matters is using our talents to help others, to make a difference in the world. When we hide our talents because we are scared or because we're lazy, life shows us we are not in the right way. The parable of the talents clearly shows us that we need to do something. Instead of being held back by fear, we must use our abilities in ways to match our true goals. And here's the lesson. Use your talents and act. When you share, when you grow your talents, not only making other people's lives better, but also you will find deep happiness for yourself. Being brave enough to show what you can do will lead to real success and a life that means something. This idea goes along with the Matthew effect. People who use their talents will find more chances to make a positive difference. Everyone has at least one talent. The story tells us to not hide, not ignore our talents because we are afraid. If we don't use them, we might lose them. Life often gives us signs when we're not using our talents. You should pay attention to these signs. The Matthew effect is a theory by Robert Merton, making a reference to a Bible verse, and it is used to explain how the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. However, at any given moment, you can choose to either complain or to do something that helps you grow and learn. Work on that skill. See how you do. And then keep getting better. It's up to you. Right now, you have a decision to make. You can keep on watching more videos on the internet, which is something probably will not change many things, or you can do something that will actually help you grow. To improve your skills, please go now to the link arata.se/intelligence.